Hey guys, and welcome to another Immortal Empires game between myself as Grand Cathay going up against Battlesea as the Dark Elves. Now you can see he's going to be really wide here on the front. So in the skies we are going to have 2 units of the Harpies, 2 of the Dark Riders on the left, and then 2 of the Repeater Crossbows on the right. At the front we are going to be having Bleak Swords, very cost efficient, so 450 gold for Silver Shields and 36 melee attack, 32 melee defense with 35 weapon strength, making this infantry one of the most cost efficient in the game. So these bad boys at the front, backed up here by the Black Ark Corsairs. Good bonus versus infantry here for the bad boys. They really can do well in melee combat. At the front we are going to have the Lord Choice Mimas Darkblade. He's going to be at the front here doing all those fantastic things. The Warp Sword of Cain giving him some of that good healing and damage resistance. And then he's going to have Zarkon as well as the Blood Price and then the Demon's Curse. In the backside, 3 units of the Dark Shards with shields. And then over on the right, a Sorceress of Shadows. Now she's going to be on a horse really fast here with 92 speed. But she's going to have the Dark Star Cloak as well as the Smoke and Mirrors and the spells of the Pit of Shades and the Melkov's Mystify Miasma. So really good spells here coming from the man, the myth, the legend. But from myself, a bit more of a build here coming up behind the rock. We are going to have 2 units of the Peasant Horsemen on either flank. And then for the front line, we are going to have Jade Warriors, 5 in total. A single unit of the Jade Warrior Crossbows and then triple of the Crane Gunners. And these bad boys really have been bolstered in my opinion. Going down in cost, yes, they do lose that penetration, but I think they're so much more cost efficient and I really enjoy them on the battlefield. So 275 range, a really nice flat map, and they're such great snipers indeed. In the backside, the Grand Cannon is going to be supported by 5 units of the Peasant Long Spearmen with the Lord Choice in the middle. So the Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin. I really love Yin magic, so we are going to be having the Jade Amulet, the Arcane Conduit, and we're also going to have the spells of the Talons of Night, the Ancestral Warriors, the Missile Mirror, and then the Storm of the Shadows. So I brought quite a few spells, not intending to use all of them, but just in case, I have a few ones like Missile Mirror in the back pocket to help fight up against artillery. So as we dive forward here, the Sorceress of Shadows is going to go a little bit ahead of herself, going to be getting sniped a little bit here by the Crane Gunners. No way of healing herself, so she's going to be taking quite a bit of damage. The cannon comes out, lovely shots down the middle here of the Black Ark Corsairs. You're going to see bodies everywhere as they get slammed through the middle pocket there of that infantry front line. We are going to get a Pit of Shades going down on top of the Crane Gunners, so pretty good damage from Battlesea early doors, but you know, the front line is still going to be holding the snipers, still at 32 models. Harpies coming over the top, my Lord Choice is going to be going over here, and then we are actually going to be popping down a Storm of Shadows. So I do an overcast, trying to catch as many as possible, trying to slow what I can. So slowing by 45% speed, that's also going to catch some of the cavalry as well. So we dive down into the middle, crossbows are going to turn and burn, and now I'm starting to move some of the Jade Warriors forward. I need to meet the front line, good damage on the Black Arks, and now we're going to be fighting here up against some of this good infantry. In the backside, Horsemen chasing here up against the Dark Rider Repeater Crossbows. They cannot fire whilst moving, which means as long as they're running away, they're not going to be causing any damage. Peasant Long Spearmen are going to be charging forward here up against the Harpies. They have been slowed. The Lord Choice is going to be getting in there and doing all the good damage, but the Crane Gunners are falling. In the middle, we are going to have Mimas with the Blood Price here fighting up against most of their infantry. I don't really think that's going to be too great here. It is going to cause damage, but it is going to cause damage up against Mimas. So we are going to be bringing down the Crane Gunners rather quickly. The Demon Curse, giving that negative leadership and negative melee defense, is rather nice here with the Black Ark Corsairs coming over on top. The Snipers still going to be going strong, still going to be firing here, and they're doing really good damage up against the Harpies. Really don't want these bad boys coming back. They're such a good aerial threat. Now, in the middle, Bleak Swords fighting here up against the Jade Warriors. We are going to get an Ancestral Warrior at the front. This beautiful gate summon of the legendary heroes of old as they crackle, as we see the thunder coming off their bodies. That ethereal status and terror is going to be so good here up against these very low leadership Dark Shards. In the middle of the cannon, still going to be firing here up against the Sorceress of Shadows. She's taking quite a bit of damage there, being on horseback. She's going to be a nice large target. In the back, we are going to be having another Pit of Shades, and that's going to be 2 units going to the dust here, with Mimas getting into the back, but he's taken a lot of damage here so far. In the back, the Black Ark Corsairs is going to be pushing onto the Crane Gunners. Some of mine are going to be returning, but you can see a lot of my micro here going to be lacking quite a bit. In the middle, the Jade Warrior is going to be firing here up against the Dark Shards. Dark Shards will do better. They have AP and then also those Silver Shields fighting up against just Jade Warriors with armor, which is, you know, it's not going to be too fantastic here for me. Peasant Long Spearmen are going to be charging towards the front. We do see the Melkor's Mystifying Miasma going down on the Peasant Long Spearmen. That's a bit of an interesting one. Of course, it will do some really good damage, but is it worth it on Peasant Long Spearmen? I don't really think so. I think you definitely wanted that there on a Jade Warrior, and then you certainly could have popped through rather quickly. That magic is going to be no difference there with armor. Now we see in the middle the Jade Warrior crossbow is going to be firing towards the front as we have the Dark Shards getting compromised here by the Ancestrals. We do see Dark Shards breaking left, right and centre, getting pushed here off by the Chimp Infantry, but the problem is in the back here. Mimas Darkblade is going to be going rampant, and he is fighting against my Peasant Long Spearmen. We do see a return here of my Crane Gunners, but we do see the Sorceress. She's going to be pushing across. So we don't actually have the Peasant Long Spearmen diving forward here, trying to protect the Crane Gunners. Hopefully, I can create a nice spear wall. And you can see they're going to be down, charging up against the lady herself. She doesn't really have much armor, so Peasant Long Spearmen really can do quite nicely. Melkor's Mystifying Miasma does go down on top of the Crane Gunners, and that probably will be all they wrote here for the rest of the battle there, for that nice ranged unit. In the backside, we have Black Arcs fighting up against the second summon of the Ancestral Warriors, and some Peasant Long Spearmen. In the backside, Harpies do actually get terrified. They do get pushed off, but sadly here I've lost my snipers in the bad pocket. We have Grand Cannons firing in the middle now at actually triple bronze chevron, which is rather impressive. And we do see here the Storm of Shadows slowing down the Dark Riders, so actually we can get these Ancestral Warriors moving through with that good anti-large and armor piercing. We can now get a rear charge with the Peasant Horsemen, and now they're going to be trapped here amongst all this bonus first large. In the middle, we are actually going to have the spell with the Pit of Shades going down on the cheap Peasant Long Spearmen, trying to water down their numbers as much as possible. Harpies rear charging up against the Ancestral Warriors. They don't really mind too much. They're going to be a summon, so as long as they get the damage out there, I don't particularly mind. Lord Choice is going to be fighting here up against the Sorceress of Shadow. She's looking really low, 580 health, as we move through here with the Dragon-Blooded Lord. So good damage. She has 92 speed, but 105 there on top of the Longmar. We have the Black Arcs moving through. These boys are really, really cool. I love their sea cloaks, and I just love their headwear. They're so goddamn cool to watch as they slaughter mass peasants here on the battlefield. A lot of wavering in the pocket. Of course, the Lord Choice will be giving negative there to leadership to all surrounding units. And we can see most of the battlefield is going to be white, but quite a lot of broken white. It's not looking fantastic here for me, even though balance of power is in my favour. Mimas is looking rather strong. We're not seeing his healing cap yet, but he's taking quite a bit of damage over time. In the middle, the Jade Warriors fighting here up against Bleak Swords. So it's going to be a 2v1 there in the middle. Bleak Swords breaking on the front line. And we do actually have Peasant Horsemen fighting up against the Dark Shards. They have okay stats for range units, but they're not brilliant. And the Peasant Horsemen should do rather nicely here. Jade Warriors are just a tremendous unit. They really can hold for so goddamn long there with 90 armor. And they should break through these Dark Shards rather quickly. So we have some more Jade Warriors coming back. Harpy's going to be cleaning up the Peasant Long Spearmen with Mimas in tail, with Bleak Swords coming to help fight here up against my Peasant Horsemen. Over on the right hand side, we do see a shatter there for the Dark Riders, and we do manage to take down here the hero. So sadly, the Sorceress is going to be falling. It's only going to be her steed left there. Of course, the Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin, known for its savagery. In the middle, we have Peasant Long Spearmen. Probably could turn and burn here up against the Black Arc Corsairs. And then Horsemen going to be chasing off some of those broken Bleak Swords, making sure these units don't come back and don't cause me any more havoc in the later game. In the middle, we are going to have Peasant Horsemen fighting up against Bleak Swords, breaking here with the Dark Shards. But of course, Mimas is around the corner. No terror for him, but fear certainly can go a long way. In the middle, Jade Warriors going to be pushing back the Dark Shards, and we do still have Harpies on the battlefield. These boys are a bit of a nuisance. Really good stats and decent speed there at 82, and the fact they can fly and circumvent all of the blockades on the floor from melee infantry, they can be just a little bit of a nuisance. Now we have Peasant Horsemen wavering here in the middle. Don't really want these to break, but they have broken sadly. Having good cheap roadblocks is certainly what you need when fighting up against the powers and likes of Mimas Darkblade. In the middle, we are going to get a Storm of the Shadows as we go in here with the Dragon-Blooded Lord, trying to do as much damage up against the Harpies as possible. We do have 70 army here for the Lord of Yin, and of course 440 weapon strength with pretty decent charge bonuses, so we can get in, kill models with every single strike that we hit here into the backside of these flying menaces. And hopefully we can bring them down. And they are going to be wavering. Fear is going to go quite a long way here at breaking the low leadership here of these flyers. Bleak Sword's going to be breaking to the left. We have Dark Shards breaking to the right. And we are going to have some in the middle here, just holding true up against the Jade Warriors. But I have a very healthy unit of Peasant Horsemen in the backside. Peasant Long Spearmen going to be keeping busy here with Mimas Darkblade. And you can see now that glorious healing cap coming in. And 385 left here. It's not going to be looking good for him. If he does go into Zarkan, I don't know if that healing cap is going to apply. So as we go through, we're going to be wavering here up against the Bleak Swords. And my objective now on the battlefield, which I don't think Battersea has quite recognised yet, I need to clean up. I'm just keeping Mimas busy as I clean up the remainder of the troops here from the Dark Shards and then all of his infantry. It means he can't keep cycle charging and, you know, he has no infantry to fall back on. So we actually have the Harpies. They're about to do something hilarious in a minute, but we have some of the dreaded Black Ark Corsairs returning to the battlefield. So I need my Lord Choice here to come over and deal with them. One nice charge should do the trick. If not, I have some Peasant Horsemen in the back pocket that can always do some good magic. Yeah, I'm going to get a couple of shots here into the face with the Dark Shards. They're going to get a good, juicy charge through these Dark Shards. That'll be enough there to break them, maybe even shatter them here off the edge. Now, we do see the Harpies. You're about to see some of the best climbing you've ever seen in history. Look at this! I don't know quite why, but obviously they have to get over the ridge here to leave the battlefield. So they're going to go straight up and over. I thought that'd be quite a hilarious one there for you guys. But then I kind of give up with that. I don't really need to be chasing them that far. And now the Lord Choice is going to come over and try and fight up against the Black Ark Corsairs. Peasant Long Spearmen are going to be coming across. Something has to fight here. So I need to keep them back and make sure I can get the remainder of my troops together. Now you can see I'm going to be baiting them in, and now we get a beautiful spell here of the Talons of Night. They get caught in the middle, and there we go. That's going to be them dealt with. Get in here with the Lord Choice, and you know, just get as much damage done as possible. Negative 53 leadership. How they haven't shattered on negative 55, I will never know. But there we go. Now we see the shatter. And balance of power is looking rather tasty here for me. And we can see shattering here with the Dark Shards. Quite a few units coming together. More shattering across the battlefield. I have done my work. And it just comes down to Mimas Darkblade. This is where we can get a little bit of a skip on. So me and Battersea were talking in VC. And Battersea was like, cool, do you want to give up? I don't think there's any way you can beat Mimas. And I was like, well, he's at healing cap. I think I, you know, stand quite a strong chance. So I'll tell you what, why don't you allow him just to get a little bit of vigor back here, and then we'll go for a fight. So he went from exhausted to very tired to tired, and then all of a sudden we were going to go into a fight. So he comes into a fight here, being very tired. I slow him down and, you know, kind of reduce that impact bonus coming in here from the Peasant Horsemen. So we're going to get a charge in, and there's going to be kind of pin there for Mimas. Now he's going to be at 3,900 health. And most of these Peasant Horsemen, even if they do hit him, are going to do too much damage with 110 armor stat. So we are going to get the rear charge here with my Lord Choice, trying to do as much damage as I can, and now I can pull out immediately. He's going to get pinned in by the Peasant Horsemen, and I'm just going to try and cycle charge as much as I possibly can. Now, Battersea is an absolute champion, and we kept doing this. We were laughing in chat. He was like, yeah, I'm not really sure if you can do this. I think I'm going to be able to, you know, defeat all of your army. I was like, you don't have to defeat all of my army. You just have to defeat my Dragon-Blooded Lord, and hopefully here, he was hoping that he could take it down. Big hits do go down on the Shugogun Lord, but there's going to be chip damage here going forward from Mimas. So Storm of Shadows just kind of slows down his movement, makes sure he can't get out of the pocket. He's pinned in by the mass. He's now down to 3,600 HP. And you can see here, with him being slowed, I'm now going to get a Storm of the Shadows on him. So I pull out the Horseman, and there's going to be some damage coming down in the middle. And he can't evade this damage. This damage is just going to go on top of him. And being that he can't heal, it's just free damage. I have Winter Magic in my back pocket. I need to use it. I need to take Mimas down as much as possible. So he's going to be charging here up against the Peasant Horseman. So I come in here with the Dragon-Blooded Lord. We can see we actually do get a hit, and then a rear charge with my Peasant Horseman. And then I'm able to pull out here through my Horseman, and then Mimas is stuck yet again. So Mimas has now gone from 3.6 down to 3.1, and he's just taking consistent damage here. So as you get a bit of a skip on, we have more Peasant Horsemen coming in, getting a rear charge. I need to bolster the troops a little bit more. You can see a lot of the Peasant Horsemen are taking quite a bit of damage. 184 kills here for Mimas so far. He's doing rather well. So we get the charge here on Mimas down to 2,400 here. And the Dragon-Blooded Lord, that 70 charge bonus, really bolsters that melee attack and the weapon strength. So I pull out here with the Dragon-Blooded Lord, just still attacking with the Peasant Horseman. And you can see 2,600 for him. And now we're getting the next unit moving in, the Peasant Long Spearmen. Balance of power further and further shifting into my favor. These Peasant Long Spearmen, though, they don't believe in, you know, potentially my triumph here. They're going to be wavering in the backside of the course. They've taken quite a bit of damage. 2,200 from Mimas. And still cycle charging in here, doing as much damage as I can. Now I'm moving with the Spearman just to bolster the leadership here of my Peasant Horseman as I continuously rear charge. Some good hits going down on Mimas. That bonus charge down to 1.7k. He's going to be wavering. I stay in combat. That is GG's, and well played here to a champion of Twitch with Battersea. Such a great guy, I really appreciate him. We played 8 games on the bounce, and it was a really, really enjoyable time. I've also played some games up against Rubber Duck of War now, so I will be having the next video with me against him. But it was yes, a really, really fantastic time. Really well played by the Dark Elves and Battlesea. This is a matchup that I thought maybe wouldn't go so well for the Dark Elves, but he really proved that yeah, he has the ability here to pull out a really good Dark Elf play. Dark Elves are scary. They were very good in Warhammer 2. And you can see 1,700 there for Mimas, and he is quite expensive. Of course, if you don't get to go into Zarkin, which sadly he did just miss at the end, army losses kicked through, which is what you really got to be careful there for Mimas. If you really think the army losses are going to come, you've got to slam it, because Zarkin doesn't come immediately. It takes time. I think it's somewhere in the region between 3 and 5 seconds. But yeah, still 1.7k for Mimas is rather impressive. 1.2 for the Sorceress of Shadows, so still fantastic value. 200 and 180 there for the Dark Rider repeater crossbows. So of course, repeater crossbows with no protection. I think the Harpies needed to be protecting the Dark Riders. So if I did try and pressure them there with my cavalry, you send in the Harpies, and of course the repeater crossbows you can get away for free, because they can't fire whilst moving. So all I've got to do is make sure that their backs are turned and running away so they can't shoot me. Managed to get 380, 1,200 and 0 for the Blackheart Corsairs. Some consider these a bit of a meme here in Warhammer 2. However, I think there are going to be some great matchups for them coming forward. That bonus versus infantry, good armor stat, will really do well up against quite a few units coming forward from Warhammer 3. We will see 126 kills, 730, 366 there for the Dark Shards. Of course, they do fire 2 armor-piercing arrows per shot, but, you know, they've got pretty low range, so it can be a bit of a nightmare to get these bad boys in shade. The Regiment of Renown certainly can be a way to go forward here. So 820, 220 there from the Harpies, with 400, 500, 250, 240, 360 there from the Bleak Swords, with 36 and 370 from the Dark Riders. So from myself, 90 kills, 1.4k there for the Dragon-Blooded Lord, plus 2 summons that really did go quite a long way. That Terror, plus, you know, the anti-large, good armor piercing, mass physical resistance, and there's not really much magic damage here coming from the force of the Dark Elves. So we see 220, 760, and 600 for the Crane Gunners, with 1,000 there for the Grand Cannon. 530 for the Jade Warrior Crossbows, with 550, 780, 600, 340, and then also 430 there from the Jade Warriors. Jade Warriors, really, really good frontline infantry. 380, 670, 1,100, and then 700 from the Peasant Horsemen, with the Spearmen coming in at 720, 250, 350, 260, and 45. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will be leaving a link below for Battlesea's channel, so please do go check him out on Twitch, and you should be able to find his YouTube there as well. Other than that, if you did enjoy, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for the next Immortal Empires game.